Well, what is up guys, Uni here, and welcome back to another episode of 10th Year Tidbits. So, one of the main staples of our channel throughout our 10-year history was MOCs, my own creations, particularly Bionicle Hero Factory MOCs. And well, some of them were pretty grand, some of them not so much. So today we are going to be doing a tier list. So, this is going to be weird. Don't expect anything clearly official, because I am most definitely not a professional mockist. And furthermore, I'm not very good at ranking mocks, so this is just something really wacky that we're going to be trying out. So I've got about maybe 20-25 mocks that I'm going to be placing throughout this wonderful tier list that I've created. So yeah, we're just going to be going through the lineup of mocks that I have right now, and we're going to be placing them throughout, and this is just based on my own opinion. These are going to be mocks both from myself and Kakola from throughout the years. Again, so this is just for fun, no real definition of what makes a good mock or not. So yeah, this is probably going to have some bias in it, just because it is me critiquing my own stuff. So yeah, anyways, let's get right to it. And I'm not going to go through all of our mocks. There's probably a good 100 or so that we posted on the channel, and even more beyond that. So video would be way too long if we did that. I mean, unless you guys want to see something like that. Otherwise, no, it's not. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to go back to the very beginning. So first up, Khan and Crete. Yeah. So these guys were the first two mocks that we posted on the channel. Basically two of the same type of build, that's why I'm grouping them together. A couple of Vaki heads on top of Matoran-esque bodies. These were all purely made from, I don't know if you guys remember the giant Bionicle jars of random miscellaneous parts. So yeah, that's all that went into them. So since they are such a simple build, they were not too impressive. So I'm gonna set the bar low. They're about E level. Not to say that I don't like them, and for the heck of it, they are still around. But yeah, no, not my favorites. And I might change the tier list as we go down the line, but that's for later. Next up, Boost 2.0, the original incarnation of Boost. And okay, I really should have mentioned this beforehand, but I'm going to be doing they're going to be duplicates. There's going to be multiple versions of the same character, so for sure Boost is going to have a few incarnations here, but it's only going to be the ones that are truly different from one another, so it won't be every single version because there's like 8 of them. But anyways, Boost 2.0, the first Hero Factory mock ever created. Basically, this was just a mashup of the two first Hero Factory sets I got for the 2.0 line, which were Evo 2.0 and Surge 2.0. It's pretty obvious because both color schemes factored in. And as I stated in the other video, Helmet and Chest Beast have stayed throughout every single incarnation of him. So, fun fact, right? Right, okay. Boost 2.0, he was an okay start. He wasn't anything phenomenal, so he's been mid-range, especially for that time. 2.0, there was only so much to work with CCBS. I'm going to give him a C. It's clone set worthy. Okay, next up, Lava Strike. So this was kind of an oddball. So the story behind this guy was basically just toying around with CCBS system. If you guys could tell, this is basically just a reiteration or recombination of parts from Drill Dozer from the 2.0 line. Nothing too impressive about that except for the head and maybe the claws. He was pretty interesting. Then again, he is just kind of a reskin of a regular CCBS figure, so I'm gonna give him a C as well. Oh man, I'm gonna have to resize some of these, aren't I? Okay. On to the next one. Oh boy, here we go. Uni, iteration number 1. Ugh, I do not like this one. Why? Because it's basically just me slapping on a bunch of orange pieces to make the orange figure. I'm doing air quotes right now. But yeah. Uni, iteration number 1. Not too good. I believe he just uses parts from Rotor and Akar, because those were the most recent sets that I had on hand that actually included orange pieces of all things. And of course the orange Makari, which came from the Boxer set with Nuparu. So, yeah. I do not like this iteration. I will make it known. First iteration, I mean, it's not bad, because it is, as all mocks are, just kind of slapped together from other pieces, but no, I don't like it, so no. Sorry, Uni. Next up, Coca-Cola, version 1. So this was another kind of joint effort between Coca-Cola and I. Right, we both made these soft mocks at the same time, so we kind of slapped together whatever we had. This guy was, I believe, he's a combination of Gresh and what's his name, Vastus. And then for her, we needed a mask, so we just slapped on the Miru. Yeah, Coca-Cola has also voiced his opinions that he is pretty not liking of this model, so like what comes later on with his future iterations, yeah, it's pretty bad. So no, sorry, Coca-Cola. Lyonix. This was a Hero Factory mock, which was basically only using parts from the Rocket XL set. So what I did when I first opened Rocket XL as a set was I made a plan that I wanted to just make mocks first before I even made the official model. So I basically just opened the bags and went crazy. So this was basically kind of reiterating Rocket XL as its actual animal base. So it's supposed to be a lion. So this was one of my first entries on Hero Factory Wiki, I believe, the Custom Hero Factory Wiki. It was cool. I like it. It's a pretty simple model. It uses all the gold you can get and then spikes. So that's basically the main gist of it. So as my opinions, it was pretty good. I'd go as far to say it was actually one of my better ones from back in the day. So I'm gonna put it at a let's go B. You'll have to forgive me. I have not done such a video where I'm operating in Photoshop in real time. So okay. Next up we have Thornmech. I don't know if any people remember this guy, but one of my few Bionicle focused mocks that weren't my self mock or Coca-Cola's self mock. So Thornmech was interesting because he was mainly based around Gunmetal and then Metru Red. This guy's main gist was weapons, lots of weapons. He used the chain from Huki, he used both arm guns as a single cannon thing, I don't know what it was supposed to be, and then he has 2 Medoc Sky Blasters. So yeah, this guy was meant to be one of the teammates of Uni and Coca-Cola. Just came along as me wanting to use plenty of gunmetal, silver, and then Metru Red. And I thought that made for a cool color scheme, but it's okay. Thornmech, first iteration, kind of wonky. The weapons were the main base of it, so the figure itself didn't really get much focus. Give him a D. Okay, next up, Boost 3.0. So this one was pretty interesting because I really wanted to use the method that Jangbrix used when implementing the some of the creature heads onto the 2.0 heads, some of them that didn't quite match up because they were supposed to go on armor pieces instead. So I'd use the was the head from Scorpio, I believe, for Boost 3.0 Animal Spirit, whatever it was called. So basically it was just slapping the helmet on and then giving them a little more lime green. It was finally a time that the lime green pieces were more in abundance, so I was happy to finally swap out some of the yellow and give him some proper color scheme instead. This one was about on par with the other one. Again, it was a little step up, but then again, overall, it's just another hero. So sorry, Boost, not getting out of the C tier yet. Okay, Uni version 2. So this was a lot. It's actually in a lot of ways the same path that Boost took. So I was finally able to get some more orange pieces and implement them, meanwhile swapping out most of the unnecessary colors and giving him a more cohesive scheme, as well as proper weapons. He still had the blaster and then the sword, but now he had a little more stylized to him. So this one, I like this one a little better. Definitely paved the way for what would become the future and then the ultimate version of him. So I'm gonna elevate him. He's probably about a D because he stayed for quite a while. Coca-Cola V2. So this one was much easier to manage because it didn't have the weird wings on the back that were using Gresh's blades. So he just had some smaller blades, and then he implemented more of the lime as opposed to the Metru green. I believe he also, Coca-Cola himself also swapped out some of the Metru dark green pieces. Oh, and of course he got a new mask. He used the, is that the Zath from Kongu Mari, which I think fits much better. Obviously, it goes in line with the color scheme. And then the scythe sticking throughout, and then he has a shoulder-mounted blaster, same from the first version. So again, between this one and Uni, they were only minor upgrades, but they were okay. And I believe this one stuck even longer because Coca-Cola did not feel like upgrading him beyond this point for some time. So C tier as well. Next up, Horus. So another one of our obscure barnacle-oriented characters. This was in the same line as Thornmek over here. This guy was all about blues and then blacks, and then for some reason he had a silver mask. Again, they're really more so focused on the weapons as opposed to giving him an original build. Then again, he did have wings, so that was a one-up for him. First iteration, not too impressive, so I'm gonna give him. Put him on D instead. Did I say C for the other iterations? I don't know. I'm messing up my own tier list. Sorry about that. These guys are down in D, so yeah. Moving on. The Wolferian Beast. Another obscure Hero Factory figure that we did. So basically this was just all silver, all black. I believe it had that transforming feature where it went from a quadruped into a, what was it, octoped? Basically he had 4 other joints which were the arms, and then some extra joints that would fold down, and then he become this weird, I guess it would be octoped, I don't know the term. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Really one of the biggest mocks I made at the time, and the fact that it was mainly CCBS it was pretty interesting to kind of experiment with that stuff. So yeah, this one pretty cool. I'm gonna put him up with B tier, just because while it isn't too cool, it's got a pretty original build. So yeah, it's getting a little crowded, isn't it? Okay. Next up, Boost 3.5. So I'm not going to ramble on about this one. This is basically the predecessor in between 3.0 and 4.0. This is where he got a single gun instead, and then he got a wrist spike. His wings were reduced to more similar, I believe this is the same style as the Waspix from the Savage Planet 3.0 line. So this one I don't really care for that much, mainly because it's kind of outshined by some of its other forms. So yeah, he can go down to D tier for now. Oh, and what do you know? Here is Boost's breakout form. So this one was, I like to call it the tank mode, just because he got that much more gunmetal gray cladding, and then he got his traditional 2 blasters back, which were kind of personalized. So yeah, I like this one a lot more. And then again, just like the Coca-Cola form, this one's stuck through a lot of our videos, including like mock shorts and showcases. So I like this one. You know what? I am going to give this one an A tier, just out of personal bias. I don't know if you guys would think that, because he's still pretty much a standard CCBS build, but oh well. Okay, here we go. We have a reiteration. We have Horus. This is Horus' 3rd form. The 2nd form didn't really take much difference between the 2 of these, so I did not include that one. So this one, his weapons merged into one, so as opposed to having a claw and a staff, he just has one mega staff. Yeah, again, this is more just for the weapon. His main form actually doesn't change much. He does have some CCBS armor. His wings got a little upgraded. He also has spikes on his shoulders. Not much else changes. Also, I don't know why, but I decided to give him a hero core. Yeah, I don't know. This form I do like more than the other one. However, posability I believe was a pretty big pain. So I am just gonna put him in C tier for now, because he's just a little bit above that one. Oh boy. One of our mainstays, Doranus, and for the record, he did have some form changes along the way. This was just the first iteration of him, but overall he did kind of remain. So Doranus was a villain that eventually became one of the mainstays of the Grax gang. Weaponized arm. He also had some electro weapons that were supposed to go in his other arm, but he didn't really have those in his later representations. He was pretty cool. Yeah, another standard CCBS build, but the main parts were the gun, arm, and then the head. I went on record to say that this is basically an interpretation of Shockwave from Transformers, right, with a single eye, headpiece. But besides that, it's pretty standard, so he's pretty cool for those 2 parts. I'll go as far as to say that. So he's another C tier. I'll say that. Next up, Crone. This guy is an obscure one. I believe he first showed up in one of Cocola's Maka Fight skits. He might have shown up a little earlier than that. So believe it or not, this guy's been around for one of the longest times. I believe he was developed just as a table scrap because he's a hybrid of both old Bionicle system and then CCBS. For some reason he just stuck around. I guess I didn't need any parts from his build. He has a pretty unique build. The torso was like, I believe it's a tilted Roxy torso, along with some other things, but the head really obscure, really odd build, pretty much entirely. He had a CCBS paw piece that would have spikes on it. He had posable claws. Just really weird. That's how I can describe him. I believe I did write up a page from it on Custom Hero Factory Wiki, but overall he doesn't really belong to any genre. So just a little backstory on him. Rank wise, again, he's just so weird. I don't really know how to place him. So I hate to do this because he is so unique, but sorry, Crone, you're just ew. Sorry. Thornwick, 3. So again, they were jumping between forms. This is supposed to be his third iteration. I believe he had a second one between, but it's not different enough. So he still retained his double gun blaster, but eventually he gained this claw as well. If you couldn't already tell, this is basically just a reiteration of Perditis from the Thornatus V9. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, it was basically just swapping pieces from that and then Bulk from Hero Factory. So I should have said that beforehand. This form changes to weapons, but not really changes to the figure itself. I believe I gave him more gun model this time around. It's funny, I think between the first form and this form, I actually put him back, or I broke him down and put him back into the original sets, and then I brought him back for the heck of it because he was so influential. This one, now that I have them side by side, they're really not that different, so I'm gonna keep them down at D tier. Sorry, Thornwick, didn't really improve this time, unlike Horus. The Snow Shark. So not many people know about this one. I did a video, however it was not the most showcasing of a video. So basically the Snow Shark, the Mega Snow Shark, was a character, not really a character, it just popped up in my Hero Factory story that I was writing back in 2012. The mock itself didn't really come around until like 2013, I don't think. Or maybe I can't remember. But basically, this Mega Snow Shark was supposed to be much larger than it actually is. There's another picture that has boost for scale standing next to him, but it's really not that big. I would have expected it to be a lot bigger. But basically, for reference, this is just combining Jawblade from Hero Factory and then Scorpio. So it has the main torso of Scorpio. I just reduced it down to a more fish-like, and I don't think it's really, it doesn't really look like a fish when it's balled up, but this is in its attack form. But yeah, lots of teeth, weird fin things, yeah, and then he has a drill on his tail for the heck of it. I really like this one, but then again, it is a reskin Scorpio torso, so I can't really give it much credit besides the fact that it's just combining two aspects. Sorry. Unta. Okay. The female warrior that was supposed to be opposite of Uni. I never really gave her much of a backstory other than that she's, I believe, the same race as Uni in universe. I forget my own lore. But anyways, Unta was almost an entirely original build. I believe she had a CCBS torso, and then she was trying to emulate the style that Uni had in his next form, which I'm surprised I did not bring up yet. I'm going out of order. Anyways, Unta, another hybrid of CCBS and then old Bionicle system. Pretty interesting. She has some Technic pieces used for the arms. I don't know why I downscaled it beforehand. Yeah, a little bulky, but then again, between this and then Uni's next iteration, they were all about being able to carry this giant weapons pack on their back, so needed the support for that. Anyways, Unta, one of my favorites, unfortunately no longer around to this day, needed to break her down, but B. Oh, here we are. Should have come before her. Uni, the third version. So this is definitely one of my favorites. This finally gave him an upgrade with CCBS parts. And now he had even more orange. If I could define this as a version, this is just orange. That's pretty much the definition of Uni through his early years. So this one was pretty cool. He was able to have extra cladding from CCBS parts as well as Old Bionicle parts. He retained his sword, but then he got a whole arsenal of new weapons, including his sidearm gun, a larger gun, and I believe he also had a shoulder-mounted gun. But yeah, it was all about the artillery this time around. Really like it. This one stuck around for quite a while after that, so I was really happy with how it turned out. So he gets the A. Yeah. Nobody's gotten an S tier. I'm just not good at doing tier lists, maybe. Mega Duranus. So we had regular Duranus, and now we have Mega Duranus. And then I even brought regular Duranus back for a comparison video, I believe. So Mega Duranus was like really cool because I got to take the larger, right, basically every large beast that was available from CCBS at the time and kind of adapt the smaller version into the bigger version. And this guy's tanked up, an even bigger version of his weaponized arm, but his face is actually proportional. He has all the heavy-duty gunmetal you could need and silver. And yeah, this guy was just great. He even used the larger version of the CCBS feet, I believe the ones that Stormer XL uses, among others. So yeah, I really like this guy. It was hard kind of figuring out what to call this guy, but once I made the comparison video, it kind of just clicked. It's like, okay, this is not just Duranus, but it's also another form of him, so it's not just him upgrading himself, but he can switch between them. So yeah, Mega Duranus, really cool. He's getting an A tier too. I'm feeling a little more generous this time around. The Uber Mech. Ooh. Yeah, so back in the days of Custom Hero Factory Wiki, they had a contest to build a mech, and I thought, why not try my hand at it? Unfortunately, I did not have many pieces to work with, so this guy's actually pretty spindly. However, somehow I made it work so that he can actually have a pilot on the inside, and he has a helmet. Really cool, really nice color scheme, I really liked it, really fun to make, really came through. Ultimately didn't really do much aside from be a big display piece. Articulation was pretty bleh, and then posability was not great either, because again, really spindly, using a lot of the CCBS friction joints to keep it from falling over indefinitely. So yeah, really fun. Wish it would still be around today, but then again, you can't really do much with it. So I'm gonna give him B tier. Ooh, let's see what we're coming up on. Coming up on the final few, and I feel like these are gonna be the biased forms. So Boost, Nick Boost, final form is basically the form that he has today, sans a few part swaps that he needed out of necessity. This was probably the ultimate hybrid of CCBS, Old Bionicle, and Technic. He's able to retain most of his weapons on his back, including the lance, his two blasters, and his main boost blaster. He has waist articulation, all the aspects of pretty much every single one of his forms. This is arguably my favorite of all my mocks. I just gotta do it. S tier. The best boost. Sorry guys, but yeah, it's just something about it. Coca-Cola version 3. So Coca-Cola really went out of his way to he really wanted to give himself a good send-off, and he thought the best way to do that was kind of leave the legacy with an updated, a modernized Coca-Cola self-mock. Anyways, as a parting gift for the channel, he wanted to upgrade him, and that he did. So basically, he made another hybrid. So he doesn't even use a CCBS torso because he wanted to still incorporate some of the pieces from his past versions. So basically, he kept a lot of the joints, but alongside that, he used CCBS for the main torso, and then as well as some of the back armor. But he still kept his main scythe weapon, but this time, instead of having wings off of his shoulders, he has them on his back, of course, using the wings from Halimari, keeping the same mask. So yeah, I remember him telling me that the main aesthetic of this was half and half, right? So half with the snakes, half with the viney feel, half with the more technical feel. I just think it turned out really well. So good job, Coca-Cola. I miss you, buddy. Both in mock and then on channel, but you guys should know the story about that already. Okay, he gets the A tier. Next up, we're getting down to the final few. We have another Uni Oh boy. So this is the final and most current version of Uni. So he got a complete overhaul after the last version got completely dismantled. So this time he's almost entirely CCBS. His CCBS torso, CCBS arms, CCBS feet, and armor cladding. His upper legs are custom. His lower legs are pretty much the only things that are still around from his old Bionicle forms. Much less orange this time around, which was a delight to a lot of fans. And then he also has his traditional scythe back, as well as his backpack of weapons still retain that. But now a lot more CCBS, and then incorporating parts from the 2015-2016 Bionicle sets. So very nice. This is great. This guy was really fun to build, and he was awesome because I could build him from the ground up as opposed to building off previous forms with all the other ones. So this guy, yeah, he's an S tier. If he's stuck around this long, he's S tier. There's a clear progression here. A lot of them are just old to new. I realize that now. Okay, last but not least, we have the Shadow Uni. So this is my most recent CCBS mock, or construction mock. Again, this guy was completely built from the ground up because I had a bunch of pieces on hand. It was just a blast. Basically taking the other form and merging it, and making a custom staff, custom katana blades, using the Oni reference from Ninjago for the headpiece. Uni was all orange, this guy was just all black. And it was really fun to kind of just mix and match pieces that I had on hand, just free build for the heck of it. Yeah, I got a hand to him. This guy is about on par with the recent Uni. Yeah, what do you know, these are all three that are still around. Everyone else is gone. And that about does it for our tier list. Nah, it's not. I got a few more. So let's bring them in. The Ice Dragon. So we're going back to 2012, I believe. 2011? So back in the day, there's this one mock video of an Ice Dragon that I don't know why it's so popular, why it got so many views. It had like, what, 2,000 views last I checked? I don't know why it got so much attention. The mock, it's not really a mock anyways. It's just a combination of the Ice Dragon from Ninjago and Thok as the base from from Construction. I don't know why it's so popular. It's just a combination of two sets. I don't know. I really don't. Like, in my honest opinion, no. Okay, we got another one. This behemoth. So yeah, before the Great Cataclysm, before all the awesome mocks got put away, there was one that I really didn't have much of a showcase for. I believe I did a TTV message boards maybe? I don't remember where it was, but I had some showcases. This is Tahu's Omega Buster from the 2015 video, Bionicle Age of Kolta. So I needed a Hulkbuster stand-in for that video, and this is what happened. This is entirely CCBS. Can you believe that? It actually fits Tahu inside. He can stand inside there. So much like the Ubermech, this one, it just took every single CCBS part I had. Used every single gold, every single red, every single joint piece. It's a mess. Like, it's big, but man, is it bad. But it played the part, and is, to date, the largest manga I've ever created. So yeah, wonderful. But as a mock, it's, again, I don't like it. So sorry. And we got one more. Mini Dude. That's right, you know it, you love him. Mini Dude and SX Drone Spider. Forgot about that guy. Anyways, Mini Dude. Good articulation. Really good. That's about it. That's all I can say. He was a table scrap that I don't know. He's stuck around for a long time. I don't know why. Yeah. It turns out these auxiliary characters that I brought in, not very impressive. Sorry. Nah, I'm sorry. You know what? God tier. But anyways, there you have it. That is our tier list for some of our most famous mocks from the Uni and Cocola's 10-year history. Again, like I said in the beginning, there are a lot more mocks that we either had videos for that weren't very impressive, or just never posted, but they're elsewhere, like Custom Hero Factory Wiki. Let me know if you want to see me do even more of those. There's a lot of them that will probably go much lower on this list, so this place will be loaded down here. But otherwise, these are probably the most notable ones. But yeah, that totals up to about like what, 30 of them? Okay. Yeah, some of these are a joke, but some of them are pretty sincere. All these mocks had their time; they came and went. Like I said, a lot of them were pretty bad in the beginning. Then again, I'm still not much of a Mockus these days, so even the best are just kind of standard builds. But I guess that's the name of the game, right? But yeah, that's been our tier list of mocks. Man, looking back at this is just what a mess. But thanks for watching, guys. Again, let me know if you want to see me do more. If there's any other mocks that didn't make this list, feel free to ask for them. But until next time, I will see you later. Uni out.